أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We welcome you all to today's Jummah proceedings at Masjid al Haqq, that is at the entrance of Laudium, Pretoria, Republic of South Africa. And today's talk is going to be delivered by Dr. Firoz Osman, who is a medical doctor, a Muslim activist, an author, a writer, and founding member of the Media Review Network. And today's topic is countering Islam's enemies.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhidul yahudu wan nasara awliya ba'duhum awliya ba'din wa may yatawallahum minkum fa innahu minhum inna allaha la yahdil qawmil zalimin. This ayah from Surah Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 51, it translates as, O you who have attained to faith, do not take the Jews and the Christians for your allies as awliya. They are but allies of one another, and whoever of you allies himself with them becomes verily one of them. Behold, Allah does not guide such evil doers. So the core message of this ayah, where Allah teaches us that power blocks form alliances. They are a block unto themselves. The Jews and the Christians together, and we'll see later on why, they form an alliance. And if you Muslims, if you believers fail to organize collectively, there will be injustice that will dominate the world. Now I have said from this minbar that there was a meeting in 2003 from NATO, and there was a General Wesley Clark who said that there was an orchestrated campaign to attack Muslim countries. It was an organized attempt way back 2003, and they said that we are going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, and they named it Iraq first, Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and then Iran. Now look at those countries that I have mentioned and what has happened to them, and what is happening to Iran today. NATO, as I mentioned earlier, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, they are about 32 countries, 30 of them European Christians, 2 of them from North America. They are organized, they are structured, unlike the Muslim Ummah. It's not that we don't have the countries. We have what they call OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries. We have 57 countries. If you take the Arab world alone, there are 22 in the Arab League. But there seems to be no action when Muslims are being attacked by these countries. Yet NATO says any one of these countries that are attacked, we all would attack that country. But Muslims, we don't do that. Look at what's happening in Gaza, the genocide that is taking place. Not a single Muslim country, bar one, has at least given them a bullet to defend themselves. How shameful is that? Not a single drop of water to a people that are under sanctions, under siege from 2007. And we call ourselves Muslims. This NATO, these allies that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us about, they follow the same pattern always. They fabricate threats that these Muslims are going to kill their own people, like they are doing in Iran at the moment. They impose sanctions on them, they invade them, they occupy them, they steal their oil fields, then they install puppet rulers. and they plundered the resources. The same thing happened in Libya. They removed Gaddafi because he wanted to be economically independent. He wanted to take away the oil and barter. Instead of using the dollars, they wanted to say, let's do it in gold. They wanted to be geopolitically independent. The West, the same NATO countries, the Western countries, they imposed sanctions on them. They economically choked them. There were protests that was engineered by the West, and Gaddafi falls. The same thing happened to Iraq. The same thing happened in Venezuela. But they become more brazen. They didn't only attack. Trump said clearly, we are going to take the oil and 50% of that oil is going to come to America. They went in there and they kidnapped a president. Where is international law? Who is going to protect them? Nobody. These are lessons for the Muslims. And today they are trying to do it in Iran. Now we think that when they kill Muslims, it is through bombs and bullets. But there's something that is far worse that is hidden from our eyes. And they do it by sanctions. And this is one of the main tools that they use, and it is an arsenal of ruin. And it is very effective. They've been doing it in Gaza from 2007. And there is a study that was conducted by the Center of Economic Policy and Research. It was published by a medical magazine, The Lancet, and they said that from the period of 1971 to 2021, 50 years, 38 million people have been killed through sanctions alone. In the past 10 years alone, 560,000 people were killed every single year through sanctions. And that means if you break down the numbers, 1,500 people are killed every single day. These economic sanctions are formed as if it is a humanitarian. You know, the West has this habit of talking about human rights. We believe, but it is hidden from this world. But sanctions is far more lethal than any other bomb. Today, 25% of the world's countries are under United States of America or European or United Nations sanctions. Yes, United Nations. We think the United Nations belongs to all the world to protect. United Nations, we must know, was created by the West to protect themselves, to do what they want to do. That's why there is the veto power. So they don't do anything. So we see what is happening now, that Trump has the freedom. I want Greenland because there's mineral wealth there, so he'll take Greenland as well. He did it to Venezuela, he's threatened Cuba as well. And Allah has warned us. He says they are allies to one another. Ba'duhum awliya ba'dun. The Israeli leadership, Netanyahu, said very, very clearly that there is a civilizational war aligning political Zionism with Christian Zionist movements against who? The Muslim world. And that's why this explains the unwavering political, military and media backing, even when international law is violated. Netanyahu has said out loud, and he said this to Christian Zionists when he was in America, that this is a civilizational war. His project depends on mobilizing, he wants to mobilize the Christian and the Jews to fight Muslims. Why? To preserve the Zionist project, to preserve Israel. In this kind of a war which he projects, nothing is forbidden. There will be genocide, there will be ethnic cleansing, there will be mass murder, there will be starvation, there will be rape, assassinations, obliteration of civilian life. There will be the fragmentation of societies, and we Muslims will fall into the sectarian trap. That sectarian trap, the breaking of states, small states. You saw what happened in Somaliland. Israel says Somaliland will become part. They're breaking up Somalia. Why? Because the Strait of Hormuz is there. Why? Because 30% of the oil goes through there. And the only country that is opposing Israel is Yemen, right opposite there. So they've taken part of Somaliland. We must remember that some of our leadership is in cahoots with the Zionists as well. So here we find that there are no red lines, there are no limits. If this project is not stopped, it will drag the whole world into irreversible destruction. So what is the lesson from this? The world order protects its own alliance, the Western alliance, the Christian alliance, the Zionist Jewish alliance. Moral language is used, but the power interests decide on the action. And we find that the Palestinian issue is really central to the Ummah, because they have planted the Zionist regime of Israel into the heart of the Arab and the Muslim world in order to keep us weak, in order to keep us divided, in order to fragment us, to keep us exhausted fighting with each other. In Yemen, who's fighting? United Arab Emirates fighting the Saudis. In the Kurdish area, Turkish are fighting there. So we are fighting amongst ourselves. We have become proxy armies for the Western world. And the Palestinians' resistance are representing all of us. They are dying for the honor and the dignity of the Muslim Ummah and for humanity. So the question is, what do we do? How do we confront this Muslim world that is in turmoil? We have, as an Ummah, in South Africa alone, given billions of rands in charity, in humanitarian aid. Alhamdulillah, it's good. We have done so. Yet, we think, why is it that this carnage, this genocide of the Muslim continues unabated? There are no international institutions that will protect us. There are no international law. This is what Gaza has showed us. International law applies to them only when they want to use it. Our cases in the ICJ, the ICC, United Nations, the Amnesty International, all of them are for the white Christian and Jewish world. Brothers, unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. There are no quick fixes. I wanted the Zionist regime to fall, and I thought that they're going to fall in 2 years. They haven't done so. Yet, I think the way to do it is to divert some of the funds we give in charity to start understanding how the Zionists work. And we need to do that. Every single masjid must have a research unit. We need to understand the geopolitics of what is happening, because if we don't understand how the enemies work, how are we going to fight them? We give, we feel, and we see what is happening in Gaza. We give it and we feed the wounded. But it is time for us to act so that they must stop and end the wounding of it. We are treating the symptoms, and Gaza is just a symptom. We are not treating the systematic causes. We need to stop sending bandages to treat the wounded. We need to stop that knife, because charity will relieve some of the pain, but it does not remove that knife that is keep on plunging into the heart, into the flesh of the Muslim world. So let us do a quick SWOT analysis. We need to do, and this is what the researchers will do. They do a SWOT analysis, S-W-O-T, SWOT. We need to see where are the strengths, where are our strengths, and their strengths. Where are the weaknesses, SWAT? Where is the opportunities, how do we use it? And who are those that are going to do the threats? We are 2 billion Muslims, that's our strength. Our main population are the youth. We have oil, we have gas, we are strategically located all over the world. We are 5 to 7 million. We produce armaments. There is some move that we see between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah, and they are getting together. Turkey is joining them. They are forming alliances. I don't say that they are legitimate, but there's some kind of a move. Fear that what they did, the Israelis bombed Qatar. NATO did nothing, America did nothing. They are learning. Perhaps they will learn that the protection comes from Allah, and if we form an alliance block, then it will come. Where is our weakness? Our disunity, the nation states, our sectarianism, our puppet leaders. Where is our opportunity? We've got the truth. The Quran came down for social justice. in this world, in this country, we need to promote social justice, and the threats are our corrupt leaders and West. And I will conclude. So the lessons is that our weakness is not numbers, no resources. It is poor organization. We need to become structured. We need to become organized. We need to form research units. It is a corrupt leadership and our disunity. Allah tells us in another ayat of the Quran, Surah Anfal, and I will end with this. It says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَالَّذِينَ كَافَرُوا بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Same. With all this, remember that those who are bent on denying the truth are allies one to another. إِلَّا تَفْعَلُونَ تَكُونْ فِتْنَةً فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادًا كَبِيرًا. And if you, O Muslims, if you act likewise, if you don't form your power alliance, if you don't form your power block, there will be oppression, and it will reign on earth, and a great corruption, and we Muslims will be the victims. Wa akhir dawana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.